Why do so many older adults find themselves wide awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling, wondering what on earth just happened? You went to bed at a reasonable hour. You even skipped the late-night snack and that second episode of your favorite mystery show. But here you are again, awake when you should be deep in dreamland. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. And no, it's not just in your head. That early morning wake-up call might be your body trying to tell you something important. Sleep doesn't work the same at 70 as it did at 30. The science is clear on that. As we age, our sleep cycles start to shift. It's not just about falling asleep or staying asleep. It's about when and how we sleep. Older adults tend to go to bed earlier and wake up earlier. It's called a phase advance in your circadian rhythm, and it's completely normal. But waking up at 3 in the morning? That's a bit more than just a shift. That's your brain waving a little red flag. Now, the first thing people often blame is the bladder. And yes, nighttime trips to the bathroom do become more common with age. The medical term for it is nocturia, and it can definitely mess with your rest. But even after returning to bed, many older adults find themselves wide awake, staring into the darkness, unable to fall back asleep. That's when things start to get frustrating, because it's not just the bathroom's fault. There's a bigger story unfolding. Part of that story is about melatonin. That's the hormone your brain releases to help you feel sleepy. As we get older, melatonin production drops off. Less melatonin means it's harder to stay asleep through the night. Add in age-related changes to how our brains regulate temperature, light, and internal rhythms, and you've got a perfect storm for broken sleep. It's not your imagination, it's biology. But understanding it is the first step toward taking back control. Let's talk stress, because even in retirement, stress doesn't exactly retire. For some, it just changes shape. It might be worries about health, finances, or even loneliness. And stress has a sneaky way of showing up at 3 a.m., when the world is quiet and distractions are gone. Cortisol, the body's stress hormone, can spike at the wrong times if your internal clock is out of sync. That can jolt you awake, even when your body is still tired. But here's where it gets more interesting. That early wake-up time, it might be more than just inconvenient. For some people, especially older adults, waking up consistently in the early hours could be a symptom of something deeper, like depression, not the kind that always looks sad on the outside. We're talking about the quieter version, the one that hides behind phrases like, "I'm just not sleeping well lately," or "I don't have much energy these days." Depression in older adults often looks like fatigue, disrupted sleep, or a general sense of weariness. And that 3 a.m. wake-up? It might be one of the first signs. This doesn't mean every early riser is depressed. Far from it. But if you find yourself waking up early and feeling down, irritable, or uninterested in things you used to enjoy, it's worth paying attention. There's no shame in it, and it's more common than people think. The good news is, it's also treatable. Sleep can improve once the root cause is addressed. Now let's go back to the brain for a moment. There's another possible reason your sleep feels fragmented. It's called sleep apnea. And it's not just for people who snore like a freight train. Older adults can develop sleep apnea quietly, with symptoms that don't always seem obvious, like waking up gasping or feeling like you've been hit by a truck even after a full night in bed. Sleep apnea can cause your body to wake up over and over again without you even realizing it. And one of the most common times for these disruptions, you guessed it, around 3 in the morning. So what can you do about it? First, stop blaming yourself. You're not broken, you're not lazy, and you're not alone. Sleep changes with age, and while some of those changes are natural, they don't have to steal your rest completely. There are practical, proven steps you can take, starting with your sleep environment. Is your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet? Those three things are critical, especially as your body becomes more sensitive to temperature and light changes. That old street lamp outside your window might not have bothered you 20 years ago, but now it could be enough to throw off your melatonin production. Consider blackout curtains or a white noise machine. Sometimes the simplest fixes are the most powerful. Next, take a look at your evening routine. Are you using screens right before bed? Phones, tablets, and televisions all emit blue light, which tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. That makes it harder to fall into deep, restorative sleep. Try switching to warm lighting in the evening and powering down screens at least an hour before bed. And if you must use a screen, consider blue light filters or special glasses that block it. What about caffeine? That afternoon cup of coffee may seem harmless, but caffeine lingers in your system for hours. If you're still sipping coffee or tea past 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it could be contributing to your early wake-ups. Even chocolate and certain medications can sneak caffeine into your system. So take a good look at what's going into your body after lunch. Another culprit? Napping. Now don't panic. Naps aren't evil. In fact, a short nap in the early afternoon can actually be helpful. But long naps, especially late in the day, can throw off your internal clock and make it harder to stay asleep at night. If you find yourself dozing off after dinner, try shifting your routine earlier in the day. More light in the morning and more activity can help reset your rhythm. One powerful but often overlooked tool for better sleep is morning sunlight. Yep, sunlight. Getting outside for just 15 to 30 minutes in the early part of the day can help reset your circadian rhythm and improve melatonin production at night. Think of it as nature's sleep medicine. A short walk in the morning or even sitting near a window can make a big difference over time. Then there's the mental side of things. If you wake up at 3 a.m. and your mind starts racing, try this simple technique. Don't stay in bed tossing and turning. Get up, go to another room, and do something quiet and relaxing. Read a book. Listen to calming music. Stretch a little. Then go back to bed when you feel sleepy. This helps retrain your brain to associate your bed with rest, not stress. And finally, don't keep your sleep troubles a secret. Talk to your doctor. There are sleep specialists who can help you get to the bottom of things. Whether it's hormonal, emotional, or something medical like sleep apnea, there are treatments that work. You don't have to just live with it. Now that we've peeled back the curtain on why sleep changes with age and what that 3 a.m. wake-up might be trying to tell you, let's shift gears. Because once you understand what's going on, you're not stuck anymore. You've got options, and some of them are a lot easier than you might think. First, let's talk about something that sounds too simple to matter, but it's actually one of the most powerful tools in your sleep toolbox: routine. Not just when you go to bed, but how you wind down before you even touch the pillow. The hour before sleep should feel like landing a plane. Gradual, calm, predictable. If your nights still look like a roller coaster of news headlines, sugary snacks, and last-minute chores, your brain doesn't stand a chance. Create a wind-down ritual. Dim the lights, put on soft music, stretch a little. Even something as basic as brushing your teeth at the same time each night tells your brain, hey, we're shutting down now. Another trick that works better than most people expect? Journaling. No, not a diary from high school. Just grab a notebook and write down what's on your mind. Worries, thoughts, lists. You don't have to be poetic. Just get it out of your head and onto paper. When your brain knows those thoughts are captured somewhere safe, it doesn't feel the need to wake you up to remind you of them at 3 in the morning. Let's get into a sneaky little habit that almost nobody talks about, but it changes everything: what time you eat. Most people don't realize that your digestion is linked to your circadian rhythm. If you're eating dinner too late, your body's still working on digestion when you're trying to fall asleep. And if you're waking up in the early hours feeling restless, your blood sugar could be crashing. Try having your last meal at least 3 hours before bedtime. Keep it light. And if you're really hungry close to bed, here comes the answer you've been waiting for. Yes, that banana is fine. In fact, a small snack with some natural sugar and a little protein can actually help keep your blood sugar stable through the night. Half a banana with a spoonful of peanut butter? Perfect. Now let's talk temperature. Most bedrooms are too warm for good sleep. Your body needs to drop a few degrees to reach deep rest. Try keeping your room between 60 and 67 degrees. If that sounds chilly, just layer the blankets and let the air around you stay cool. You can even try warming your feet with socks while keeping the rest of your body cool. That combination helps many people drift off faster and stay asleep longer. Still waking up in the middle of the night? Let's flip the script. What if that wake-up wasn't a curse, but an opportunity? Stay with me here. In many traditional cultures, people didn't sleep in one long stretch. They slept in 2 segments. It was called segmented sleep, and it was totally normal. People would wake up for an hour or 2 in the middle of the night, read, pray, or talk quietly. Then they'd go back to sleep until morning. Sound familiar? You might not be broken. You might just be operating on an old, natural pattern. The key is to keep that middle of the night time calm and gentle. No screens, no stress, just quiet activity until your body says, okay, ready to snooze again. There's also an emotional side to this. A lot of older adults report feeling frustrated or even angry about their changing sleep. But fighting with your body rarely helps. Try compassion instead. Instead of thinking, why can't I sleep like I used to? Try this. My body is changing, and that's okay. What does it need right now? What is it trying to tell me? That mindset shift can do more than you expect. Now remember how we mentioned morning sunlight earlier? Let's dig deeper there. If you can, try getting outside within 1 hour of waking, even on cloudy days. That exposure helps anchor your internal clock and makes it easier to fall asleep at night. Pair it with a little movement, like a walk around the block, and you're giving your brain a double dose of natural rhythm. Morning light and motion. Think of it as your body's version of hitting reset. Let's not forget connection. Loneliness might not sound like a sleep problem, but it absolutely can be. Humans are wired for connection, and when we feel isolated, our brains stay alert for danger, even if there's no real threat. That alertness can make restful sleep harder. So find your circle. Call a friend. Join a local group. Talk to your neighbor. Not only does connection soothe the mind, it builds routine and purpose, which help regulate sleep. Now for one more curveball, medications. If you're on prescriptions, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about whether any of them might be affecting your sleep. Some meds that aren't even labeled as sleep-related can throw off your rhythm, especially if taken late in the day. Beta blockers, corticosteroids, and even certain antihistamines can cause nighttime wakefulness. The fix might be as simple as adjusting the timing. But here's the secret that ties it all together. Good sleep isn't about knocking yourself out cold for 8 hours straight. It's about supporting your body's natural rhythm, learning its cues, creating an environment and lifestyle that work with it, not against it. And the truth is, most of us don't need perfect sleep. We just need consistent, restorative rest. That's a goal worth chasing. And hey, if all else fails and you're still waking up at 3 a.m., maybe it's your body asking for a little quiet time, some peace, a moment just for you. So make a cup of herbal tea, sit by the window, and listen to the stillness. You're alive. You're breathing. That alone is worth waking up for. And if this little midnight chat made your night a bit easier, or your next nap a little sweeter, why not come back for more? Hit that subscribe button like it's your snooze alarm, except this time you won't regret it later. See you there, unless you fall asleep first, in which case, well done.